Now, time to make this belt loop with the chain on it. This is a bit awkward for me because this is quite a thick piece of leather. But if I use, you can hear my dogs are barking here. If I use 3.5mm, my press studs I've got, which are nowhere near as good as these ones, won't fit through it. So I'm going to have to drop down. So this is 2.5mm. It's still fairly hefty. This is 2.5mm Sedgwick. So now that width-wise is 1 1/8. So I need a 1 1/8. This is a straight edge. I need to set my strap cutter up. That's set at 7/8 at the moment. So let's change that to 1 1/8, which is there. Like that. My strap cutter tends to move a bit, so I'm just going to use my pliers on there. Now use these. As long as you've got a straight edge, you will get another straight edge. So all we're going to do is line it up, push that edge there against it, and we're going to pull. I don't know if you can hear my dogs, so I don't know what to set them off. Having a right old strap. Once we've got it, we can grab the other part of that there, and then we're just going to pull it and keep pulling it until we get to the end of the strap, which is way down here. It's got a curve here, so I'm going to deliberately force it to come out because I don't want to get on that curve. Now, get rid of this. Don't need it. So don't need the strap cutter anymore. What I do need to do is get an end on there. So I need a square. I'll put there. I need a round all to mark it with. Hold on there, just cut that off. Then I'm going to get my head knife and just cut that off square. Gives me an idea of how long it's going to be, isn't it? So I know now where I'm going to go. Now, to get this part, I'm going to use this strap, original strap of what it is. So it goes down to there, down to there, down to there, and then it's got a curve around about here. So to flex this leather, what you don't want to do is just bend it straight over. You want to make it damp. If you make it damp, it'll flex a bit better and it'll hold the turn as well. So either just put that piece in a bit of water, let it soak in, use a sponge on it, something like that. Or you could do what I'm not going to do. I'm definitely not doing this, and nor are you. I'm going to possibly not lick it. So what I didn't do is I didn't lick both the flesh side and the grain side to make it do that nice bend like that, because that wouldn't do that. I'd soak that in water or something. Now, I'm not going to get my press studs through two pieces of leather like that, as that's been thinned down quite a bit anyway. I'm not going to get it through there, but I probably will get it through perhaps one piece. And I also need to taper this down to fit that. Now that's going to be a little bit of a fun thing to do, because that is a lot narrower than this, so it means I've got to get a thicker piece of that all the way through there. So I might be swearing a little bit, but that looks like about 5/8, half inch 5/8, not quite 5/8. So that's going to be, that centre line is going to be around there somewhere. So there's my two marks. He says as he probably loses them the minute he flicks it back. There's one. So I need, where are you going? I need a mark that's there. I don't want it in metric. Oh, I can do metric. I don't want it in metric because it's easier to do for me in inches. Like there. Now this is 1 1/8 wide, isn't it? So to make it easier, if I just drop it a 1/16, I now know that that is in the middle, and I know that was just over half inch and under 5/8. So if I go from there and add a little bit, and from there and add a little bit, that now gives me my taper that I need to narrow that down. So I'm going to sit round there. I can narrow this up, bring it up perhaps to about there. So a mark there and a mark there. Oops. So I've got a mark there, a mark there, and a mark there. So what I'm going to do is bring this in to that point. So it should be about halfway. Just going to get down and have a nose. What are we looking at? So that is perhaps 3/4, and then 1, 2, and about 3/4 out the other side as well. So that's there, that's there, that's there. And that's good to me. Now match them up on the other side then. So we're going to go from there to there, from there to there, and then we've got one there and one there. So that's going to be a little bit square, that's going to be a little bit square. And what I'm going to do is get my ruler, and I'm going to go from there to there, and I'm going to go from there to there, and vice versa, from there, where's the mark gone, to there, gets me mark there, I think, there it is, and from there to there. So now we've got a nice little notch out of this. So where's my knife again? I'm going to take that, I'm going to cut down there, and I'm going to flatten it out a little bit, and then I'm going to cut back up here. There's one side. Just reducing it away then. See that go? That's my needle. Lucky I tie them together. There. I'm going to go from there. Bring that round. And out to there. So that's our little mark. That's what we're going to have. And then from here, what I'm going to have to do is press stud through one side and then stitch the edges. Because, sorry, I'm not going to get my press stud through one. So that's sitting there. I want a little bit of space where I can get a few stitches in. So from there, up here somewhere. Now, I think probably about 4 stitches would go. And that would be about right for it. So that's where I want to cut off. So I need to cut somewhere around there. Now, if I take my set square again, draw my little line across, because this is the piece I'm cutting, then I can cut straight across there. Don't need that bit now. So this is part of my belt loop and fitting. It's going to fit there. Don't really want a thick piece, so I'm just going to thin that down a little bit. So if you want to look at these, remember, check out some of them other videos that I've got. I'm just going to take half of the thickness from here. So not all of it, I just want a little bit. There's a little lip on the edge of that, I don't like. Flip it over, and I'm going to do the same down there, and then I'm going to take them corners off, only a little tiny nick. So one off of there, one off of there. Use that again, don't need that. So now we've got something that's a little bit tidier when it fits in. Now the other end, this needs a cathedral point. So I've heard it referred to as lots of different things. Cathedral point is how I know it, but I think it's been called an English point before. So all I'm going to do, people make a right meal of these, they have stamps and punches and all sorts. It's easy to do. Take your dividers, put it on the edge and make it the width of your strap. So you're going to get to the width of your strap. Then all I'm going to do, I'm going to eyeball this. It's roughly the middle. And that's about there. And then I'm just going to draw an arc that goes around. And I'm going to go the other side. I'll do the same again. Draw an arc around on the other side. So now I have got my cathedral point marked. So what I'm going to do now, put my head knife onto that edge, find where it is, and then just start rocking with the point of it and work my way around. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Point on it, work my way around, watch fingers. Most of the weight should be going down on these. You're not pushing it. I'm not sliding it along. I'll do that on other things and make sure your hand's behind them, but most of this, it's this way and you're pushing down on it. Oh, what else I need to do? Need to take the point of that off as well, because it's got a very little bit there and I don't want that. I just want that moved. So now what we've got then, English point, cathedral point. I'm going to fix that over and put press stud through 1/2, so it's going to come through this side, press stud on that side, and then it will be able to come down, clip on, chain on there. That's my plan. Hopefully that'll work. Now, can't have just square edges, so we need to put an edge on there. We need to take our edge on the inside from that point there. We're not going to do this bit because this is going to be two flat edges touching. It matches there, isn't it? Where is it? There. I need to do the other side. So that's where I've gone to. So from this side now, all the way along, get the cathedral point done. Back down to where that just went. That's that side done. And then the other side, all of this can be done. So there's a line there, there's a corner there, bit there, there's a curved bit there, go all the way down there, take that, take the flat off the end, curve on this side, all the way down there, that piece out of there, that piece there, and then the last bit is that little nick on the end. That's good. Now, next things. We need to think about where we're going to put our press studs in, and we're going to have to make that press stud bit up, and I also need to stain this edge here, because that part there, once I put that chain in, I won't be able to get to it so easy. So I'm going to do that now whilst I think of it. Now, I've still probably got enough edge dye, yeah, on there from when I did the wallet earlier. So I don't need to redo it. And all I need to do is that bit and that bit, because I won't be able to do it later. Get me a bit of denim. Rub in there. Rub in there. Rub along there. Right, so that part's done. This part's going to go on here, so I'm going to mark up where I'll put my stitching. So my stitching is going to be from the end of there, so that's one hole, it's going to be there, and then the last one's going to be down there somewhere, so that's not too bad. I'm going to get my screw crease that I have always set up for where my stitching is going to be, and I'm going to draw a line down there, and I'm going to turn it over, do the same on the other side, and then we've already got it out. Oops, already got it out, so this is 4mm, 4 holes. Going to put it down to where I said that edge was, which was this one. Line it up on there. Make sure my markers line up. Give it a little tap. I want it square on the other side, so I'm just going to put my square there. Line it up on the other side. Line it up with that hole. And give that another tap as well. So I haven't gone all the way through, I've just made marks on this side just so I can see where I'm going to go. Don't need that anymore. Let me go back to the rest of them. And so that's done, that's done, that's done. If you bring that down onto there, that will line up perfectly with that. That's going to come around and go perfect on there. So we need to get some what's it thingies on it. Now I don't use these very often, so I don't tend to spend a fortune on them, but I need one of them, I need one of them, I need one of them, and I need one of them. Oh, I mean, that was good for me. Now this little kit, it's only a cheap one, so I bought it off eBay or Amazon or something like that. So the few bits that I tend to use it on, you don't need much for it. They also come with all the bits you need to put mums in. Now they're quite easy. You've got a little hole punch, which is the right size, and you've got two punches for setting it up. One convex, one concave. So concave will fit over the top of that piece, and the convex one will actually sit inside that one and pump it out the side. And then you've got a little, whatever you call it, anvil type thing for it. So one side, which is going to get the punch against it, is a flat piece, so that's it's that side. And then the other side, which is going to be pushed out, has got that dimp in it, and that's that side. Now this is going to be fun on here because that leather is going to be really wide on here and want to push out the side, so I'm going to probably take a bit of bashing to get that on there. But we'll give it a go. Right, done. Now let's mark these up. Where am I going to put my holes? First one, we're just going to go by what this does. So that is there. I'd say we're looking at around about there somewhere. Now to make sure I get that in the middle, wind's picked up again. All I'm going to use is my dividers, and I'm going to get that roughly in the halfway. If I go roughly halfway, probably about there, then if I flick it over, do the other side. So one side is there. If I turn it back over, there. Hopefully you can see that because I was disappearing towards myself. One there. One there. That'd be good. And then on the other side we want the same sort of thing. It's going to be one of these. Just thinking about where it's going to be. It will be about that point there. So one there. One there. So that's one hole. And that's the other. So it's going to sit round there. Press that up that way. Sit up there. Press it on that way. So let's go and punch these holes and put these rivets in. These set squares in. First thing we need to do then, punch a hole through. So we want our hole punch that I've put somewhere safe. Put somewhere safe. So nice little hole punch. We're just going to line it up. I'm over the top of the table leg here, so it gives me a bit more oomph to press against. I'm going to line it up. There it is, and then I'm going to take my little club, punch a hole through it. Again on the other side, I'm going to do the same. So line up where my hole is. And punch through it. So that's our 2 hole punches done. Now for the front one, we need a smooth sided one. So we need a smooth sided one, and we need the backing for the smooth sided one, which is that. It's upside down. Through me. So it's that one. So these 2 are going to sit together like that with a bit of leather in the middle of them, and then we can punch through there. So first thing we're going to do, take that one, poke it through, and if it's a bit tight because the leather's there, I can, if I can find it, because I'll put it somewhere safe again so I don't lose it. We can use a bone folder. Took me a little while to find it. You can use bone folder, and all you got to do is just push the leather down that is around where that comes through, and all that does is make sure it's not pushing up and getting in the way. I'm going to use the flat edge of that. We're going to line it up. We're going to put the other piece on top, and then we're going to give it a good push down so it gets on there. And what happens with me all the time is, because they move and they do my head in, I don't like them, never use them. Where's my strap cutter? I'm going to put my strap cutter just under the end there, and that'll hold that up a little bit. We then take the pointy end, the convex one. I'm going to push all this down, make sure it's all in place, make sure it's over the thing, make sure we've actually got that through, give it a good wedge, and then I tend to get all my fingers, so you probably can't see any of this, get your fingers all around everything, push it in place, hold it in place, and give it a clout. And what that does is it burrs the end of that out, gets it on there. So that side's got that one, that's good. Now before I can do the other end, because this is going to be quite tight and I need to flex it, I'm going to put the chain on, because the chain has got to sit in there, and if I put the press stud over it, it's going to be, and that big bit there has got to fit through that part there. So to get that, we're going to have to flex this and get it folded in half. Didn't just lick it, there was definitely some water over here. So I'm going to fold it in half, line it up, push it through, and that goes quite tight. Oh, as it goes, once it gets there, typically it's gone the wrong way, and I need it the other way, and it doesn't want to turn. Oh, didn't want to go, but I have got it through there. So that's what we're looking at now, and then we can line all that up. So this part is going to be even more fun because it's got chain and everything else with it. Our two parts again. So it's going to be here. So we want the poppy bit, which is this side, on this edge of it. So the first part is that one. That's going to poke through from underneath. God blimey, alright. Poke through from underneath. And then we're going to use a bone folder, push it on because it didn't want to go, and make sure it's all down all the way around. We're going to flick that over, so now we've got that concave side. I'm going to line that up till it's right on there, and that is a real feel thing. So it's there, and we take that part and it pushes over the top. And then this time we use the concave punch. I'm going to line it up, push it in, and what I tend to do is have a little wiggle round, and it will tell you whether you've got it in the right place. Now we can hold it nice and tight again, give it a good clout, and it should, fingers crossed, we've got hold of it. So that's that bit done. This is attached. You can see all the crap that I tend to have around me all the time. This is on a bit of granite that's just on the edge there, a bit of old tile that's good for skiving on, but we can figure that out. So let's have a look at this part then. Let's get rid of that. Threads off and needles off there. Cut through it, make it pull out, get rid of that. Second the same. The other end as well. This is a braided polyester, so it's much easier to thread because it puts up with a lot more rather than a twist, which is a common one. It holds it together. So put that down there. I'm going to get my clams back out. I'm going to let it sit there, and I'm going to need my diamond awl. I need my bit of leather. So the first holes I'm going to stitch. You can see our stitch marks sitting there. I'm going to start at this end, I'm going to work my way up, and then I'm going to bring the needles through to get to this side and work my way back. So the first bit I need to do is put that in my clams, and I'm going to make the very last hole here. So it's this one here. I'm going to push it through, make sure that's out of the way, and hold it in. So what that gives me is right where the end of that needs to line up. So if I bring that out a minute, it needs to sit there. Sit there. And if I put that needle through that hole, I know that that stitch is going to be that last stitch and straight over the end. There's many ways. That's the way I prefer to do it. So my first one is there. So I'm going to put that in my clams, nice and tight. I'm going to line it all up, get everything so this is all smooth. That's good. I'm going to hold my all a certain way, so I can just see there's a punch mark there, and if I hold that so it's like at an angle at 45 degrees there, that will hold my diamond awl in the same position each time. So I've got one there and one there. That's my first hole I'm going to make. So I'm going to push that through. I'm going to take that needle out, put it into there, bring it through. So that is exactly the same as what we did before, but this time we're making the hole as we go, isn't it? Put them in the middle, dropping back a hole, so it's that one there. Point of that awl just finds where that stitch mark is, lines it up nice and level, and I'm pushing it with the flat of my hand. I push it through. Awls come out, so the needle finds the awl, goes through the same holes. This is exactly the same as before. We're going to take that T shape, put it through, going to pull it down, go through the hole, little pull on it to make sure it's not there. I'm not going to do my first one because I'm going back, pull and pull, even them up, coming towards me. Now, I've already got a thread in that hole, so I don't want to put that because that's sharp into there and to cut it. So I'm just going to put my needle in, same as we've done before. Find my needle through the hole, pull it towards me, pull it down, poke it through, over the top this time, little tug that way, pull it that way, pull them up nice and tight. One hole this way then. So find the hole, line that all up, nice and square, push it, needle finds the awl, through the hole, pull it out, that T shape again, pull it down to the bottom of the hole, poke the other needle in, over the top, pull and pull. This is that one I just made, so this is my last hole. So now when I put that through, it's right on the very edge of that leather. Exactly the same over the top. Now, I don't need this left hand one, this is my left hand still. My right hand is going back one, push it through, grab that needle, pull it out. I'm going to pull it nice and tight. So what we've got is our line of stitching and our line of stitching. It's only a little short piece. I'm going to take this needle or this thread and I'm going to push my needle up between the two bits of leather and between them two stitches. So I've gone up through there, I'm going to pull it up, and when it gets near the end I'm going to push my fingers to make that go where I want it to. So it looks like a stitch, but it's not a stitch. I'm then going to drop, so that's one hole, there's a second hole, there's a gap in between there, so I'm going to find that gap, poke my needle through, there it is, comes out, pull that, and it's now out this side. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'll miss that first stitch and go two back, so it's there. If I line that up sort of where it is and push it in sideways, it means you don't pierce the leather so much. Poke it through, pull it, then as again, I'll get it close to the end. I'm going to start to think about bringing that stitch, that thread, down to make sure it sits inside into it. So now I've got stitches there that looks like it's all finished, but in fact I know it's not, and my needles are now out the other side. So we're going to turn over, come to the other side. Now this bit's a bit of pain because this bit of chain is going to weigh the leather down, so it might keep moving. Now this, come out the end, I'm going to put a couple of little twists in that, so all I've done is just turned them around myself. Don't have to do that, I've just got into a habit of doing it and now I do it all the time. I'm going to take my awl again, line it up exactly the same as I was before. This is the very last hole at that end. Make the hole and it's just come out on the edge of that leather again. So that's good, and then I'm going to come back a hole, line it up. This time I'm going to push it through and it goes through both pieces of leather. And I'm going to take my awl out, put it down. I'm going to take my threads, doesn't matter which one's which, doesn't matter what side there was. I'm just going to pull that apart slightly. I'm going to find the hole that's inside there, pull it out and down. I'm going to do the same on the other side, so I'm going to poke that through that gap, find the hole. Isn't always easy because this is the flesh side of the leather, isn't it? There it is. Pull it down. So they're both now one needle, one thread either side. Hole towards furthest away from me, poke it through, bring it in, that T still, cross it over, that one in, just leave that, give it a pull, coming one towards me, don't need an awl because the hole's already there, that goes through, finds it, T shape, keep hold of everything, thread goes down, other needle goes through, little tug on this side to make sure it's clear, over the top, little tug, make sure then threads sit where you want them to go, so just keep your eye on what they're doing, put them up nice and tight. We're changing now, the awl comes out, get it around the right way, so it's at 45-degree angle, one hole towards me, push it through, find the awl, same again. So we can do that. I've got one more. I don't know if you can see my head on there. If you notice, I'm not moving from side to side, I'm only looking at that side. The reason you do that as well, is quite often bags, saddle work, and you'll have a big flap of leather might be coming out the top of this, and you can't actually see the other side. So if you get into a habit of doing it all of the time, then when it comes to that, you can do it. I've stitched before now where I've stitched things inside a bag, so my hand is actually in the bag. So that was my last stitch because it's only 4, so I'm going to drop a stitch backwards, poke my needle through, find the needle, pull it through, take the T shape, pull it out. Now this one, if it gets a bit tight like that, sometimes you can turn the needle and it'll go. Other times, a bit of wax, or take your saddler's pliers. That's smooth on the inside there, so if you can see that, that's smooth. It means you don't damage the needles when you pull it out. So I only ever really do that with them. File some or grind some down. Same again, goes through, little pull to make sure it's not got it. If I pull one side, chance I'm going to have to pull the other side. Put it up tight. One more on just this side. Push that through there. Pull that one out. Pull them up nice and tight. Take them needles and that thread. Find just the scissors that were right in front of me. Cut them off short. So I like to twist these together because, as we saw earlier when I threw them across the place, don't know if I get that in the video. Gonna get that there. So that is our bit done. Tidy them ends up. Just gonna melt it. It's a polyester thread, so they will melt quite nicely. It's a bit breezier through that window. Push them in nice and flat. So there we have our belt loop. So it can sit there like that, and then when they're ready, they can pop it off and put it on. So they're not my favourites. I don't like press studs, but that's what was on there. Now, finish this part. We just need to stain it, and I might actually put a crease around it as well. So where's my stain again? A little bit on there. Start at one end. Already stained that bit, so that's not so bad. A bit of denim, so just fold it to a flat bit and give it a little buff. And what you can see is when you buff it, these ends where you join the two stitches together gradually merge into being just one piece of leather. So it just looks like one and you can't really see the join. You will see a join, but it's going to be better than what it is. And as long as you haven't edged that, it'll have a 90-degree edge, and therefore it will fit nice and tight to one another. We'll have another look in a minute and tidy it up a bit more. Have a visitor, you might just see her on the screen, sneaking herself in to see what's going on. Right, missing out. Now, where are we? Bit of wax. Bit of wax can go down that edge. Take my whatever it's called again that's gone out of my head. Give it a rub. I'll go down perhaps to the smallest size on that. Same on the other side. There we have our belt strap done. Has it got a crease? Didn't have a crease. I'm not going to put one on it. Leave it as it is. Now all we need to do now is get this piece back in. I'm just going to adjust that camera. Don't know how much of that you all saw. But... so that's our belt loop with a press stud. And then what we've got to get now is this has got to get back in. See that chain loop up there? So that's going to poke through. Took me a bit of doing, take it apart if I remember. It's going through there. Now I need my proper pliers because I don't want to use them saddler's pliers for this. So these are real pliers, and the reason, so when I said about them things, if you look at saddler's pliers this time, no ridge on it. This is a normal pair of pliers, and you can see all them ridges. So if you grab your needle with that, it'll put all ridges down it. Whereas you grab them with that, nice and smooth. You can grab leather and stuff with them as well, as long as you're not too tight. You can do it. And then we just need to square this up a bit, don't we? So all we've got to do is clamp that in there. Push it round. Chap this going to is metal worker, so he can probably, I won't mind betting he didn't make that chain himself in the first place. He could probably do a nice really good job of that. So there we have our thing. So let's buff that up. Where are we? So nice little cloth. Now we've got all of that saddle soap I put on earlier, that's all gone in nicely. That's all tidied up. There we go. So one wallet, nicely repaired, get rid of all them little bits of fluff that are just stuck on there for somewhere. Where is it? There. Nicely done, nicely repaired. New loop, goes over, does up. He's got his belt loop, fits it in place, chain, goes in his pocket, won't lose it. So, as I say, a bit of a different video for me, a bit long-winded, but hopefully it's shown you a lot of skills that you can use to either repair or make your own leather work. Otherwise, if you've got any questions, leave me some comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it that thumbs up and remember to hit that subscribe button. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.